Hi, and welcome back to The Scent Advocate. Tonight, we're going to talk about fragrance houses I think you should know more about. These are houses that I don't hear talked about a whole lot out in social media. And again, as I've said about other houses, I just don't know why. These are amazing fragrances coming out of these houses, and they need some attention. So here goes. The first fragrance house I want to talk about is Obvious Parfums. What I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about the house and then show you the fragrances that I have in my collection from the house. So Obvious Parfums, their focus is on uniqueness and being part of the whole. So it's all about the experience you have wearing their fragrances, feeling both unique and connected to everything else going on around you. Kind of like quantum mechanics, I guess, only less stuffy. They also want to reestablish justice and eliminate superfluousness. And I could get behind that. I'm a lawyer. I'm all for justice. Okay. So the first fragrance I want to talk about from this house is Un Pistache Eau de Parfum. This is 100 ml. You could see quite the dent in there. This fragrance it is a beautiful pistachio. Now, I got this a few years back during the big pistachio craze. There were so many pistachio fragrances coming out, and I got several. One of the more popular ones I ended up rehoming. It just didn't resonate with me. It wasn't as realistic a pistachio. And this one is not really photorealistic, but it's got a true pistachio note in it. And in the opening, I get a whiff of Play-Doh. That's noteworthy. Will tell you it dissipates. I don't have a problem with Play-Doh. I just don't want to smell like it. You know, that was great when I was 4, but not anymore. If Play-Doh is your thing, great. You just need to understand that it dissipates, okay? At least in my experience, it does. So it opens up with a photorealistic pistachio tempered by that Play-Doh, giving you something less photorealistic. And then when it settles down, it is that pistachio fragrance combined with a strong white floral, which is not my thing. I don't wear white florals well. I appreciate them, but they don't work on me. But for some reason, this does. And the type of, and you also get a little bit of coconut in there. I think that's noteworthy too. So it's pistachio meets like a tropical feel, but not the kind of coconut that you get from, suntan oil or anything like that. This is a very sophisticated, dry, beautiful coconut. It's not like an animated version, a ridiculous version of coconut, not at all. And the way this smells on the skin is just, it's exquisite. This is, wow. It is so beautiful. So again, pistachio meets like a gardenia and coconut. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, and a lovely expression of pistachio. Next, from Obvious, we have Kakigori White Crush in this beautiful frosted bottle. This fragrance is also an eau de parfum, 100 ml. To me, this presents differently than the description on the Obvious website. The Obvious website talks about, mountain snow atop Mount Fuji, cold, Japanese kind of wintry, icy gorgeousness. And I get it. But for me, this is more of a summer breezy. I just got out of the shower and I still have that soap smell lingering on me. I'm wearing linen and, the sun is bright and I'm having an amazing day. And it's early in the day, right? This isn't nighttime. So, clean, soapy, bright, fresh, mountain air, but It's definitely summer in the mountains. There's no snow here, but there is a cold. I get it. I get the direction the perfumer was looking to go with this. I get a lot of fougere in this. There is an element of the barber shop, but it is not as masculine as a fougere would normally present to me. This is a unisex fragrance that maybe leans a little feminine. Very, very pretty. I will tell you, this presents very differently on a test strip than it does on my skin. On my skin, I get a little bit of fruit from this. And I want to say it's a peach, a underripe peach. Absolutely beautiful, easy reach. You could really wear this any day of the year, but I think it's probably most amazing in the warm, hot days of the summer. So once again, White Crush from Obvious. Moving on to our next fragrance house that I think you need to know more about. It is Frederico Cantelli. And what I read about this house on its website is that Frederico Cantelli is the youngest Italian nose. That means he is the youngest perfumer out of Italy. Okay. He started out at 16, got his education in perfumery, and ended up making perfumes at 20. I hope I got that right, but it was definitely something along those lines. These are artisanal handmade fragrances. And the website does say, and I found this really interesting, they adopted an avocado tree in order to be carbon free. I don't know what that means. Maybe you do. If you do, definitely leave me a comment and let me know, because I'm stumped. It sounds great. I mean, who doesn't love avocados and avocado trees, right? I love it. But I'm not getting how that makes you carbon free. Maybe there's something to do with avocados specifically, but I'm really interested. Let me know what you know about this. Okay. The first fragrance from this house that I want to talk about is Licorice. Yes, yes, yes. This is a 50 ml eau de parfum, and I was not a licorice lover as a child. I couldn't stand the taste of it. I'm talking about black licorice, of course. And I didn't like the smell. As an adult, I still don't care for it as a linear taste, but I love the fragrance. There is something very adult and sophisticated and quintessentially Italian about it. I've told you all before, I am Sicilian, and so this resonates with me. You know, the idea of putting anisette in black coffee. I'm not talking about regular drip coffee. I'm talking about like espresso coffee. You put a little anisette in and it just changes the experience. It's not anisette tasting. It's not the black coffee anymore. It's something entirely unique. A biscotti dipped in regular coffee, regular drip coffee, amazing. And, you know, a traditional biscotti is flavored with anisette. So this gives you that anisette kind of vibe. It is a linear fragrance, so you really do have to like the smell of licorice. So the notes in this are licorice, vanilla, almond, cherry, caramel, and anise. I don't get all that. For me, I get that strong powdery anisette, or it is anisette that is offset by a powdery note. Because anisette in itself isn't really powdery, is it? Ground sugar. If you've ever gotten grained sugar, granules of sugar, and like smashed them, like with a spoon, it emits something of an almost vanillic, a powdery vanillic smell. I get that in here, along with, you know, Italian pastry shop. Just exactly what you'd expect one of those places to smell like. Just that amazing, beautiful licorice. That's what this is. Licorice by Frederico Cantelli. All right, moving on to the next fragrance from this house. It is Ambra e Tobacco, And this is also 50 mil eau de parfum. This fragrance, oh my gosh. This is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled. And I got a lot of fragrances. All right, so the notes are tonka bean, aloe vera, amber, orange, cinnamon, tobacco, cedar, musk, and vanilla. Yeah, sure. What I get is holiday pastry meets musk and amber. The warm, cozy, sophisticated, wise, strong presence at a family holiday gathering. Those folks are wearing this. The matriarchs, the patriarchs, but they're not really older. They are the ones in command, though. They are the ones who call the shots. There are those who are older than they are, and they are, enjoying things in their own kind of golden way. There are the younger people running around being young people, and then there are those who are running the show. That generation is wearing this stuff. Oh, it's so beautiful. I get there is a tobacco, but it is a wet pipe tobacco meets a dried orange and cinnamon. Sure, there's amber, sure, there's musk, but that powdery cinnamon offset by the beautiful amber. Oh gosh, it's amazing. This is really incredible stuff. I cannot believe everyone isn't talking about this Ambra tobacco by Frederico Cantelli. Gorgeous. Okay, the last house I'm going to talk about tonight is Rundholz Parfums. Now, this house is German. They were founded in about 1993. Their perfumes are named after dates, dates in history, so that people can connect scent with a memory. The fragrances are designed to be long lasting, make an impression. They are intended to, be enduring and just really create a scent memory for you by looking back on history in some way. So the significance of a scent name from this house, I think, is important. So the fragrance I have from this house is called February 14th, 1912. You see that okay? There we go. This is a 50 ml eau de parfum. So I'm thinking, what happened on February 14th, 1912? And I was stumped, right? I mean, I guess it was Valentine's Day, but that doesn't feel like where they're going. Why 1912? So what happened on February 14th, 1912? So look it up. And it turns out it was the day that Arizona became a state. Something tells me, however, that isn't what they were looking to point out. There's got to be something else that happened on February 14th, 1912. And if you know what this fragrance house was pointing out by naming the fragrance after that date, please let me know in the comments. I am very curious. The fragrance, according to the website, is made up of licorice, musk, and iris. But for me, I get a green, smoky anise with vetiver. So very herbal. Garden herbs like basil, tarragon, and a little bit of mint in the background. And of course that anise, that fennel, in Italian, it's finocchia. It's that, but not sweet. This is absolutely not sweet. So it's those beautiful herbs meet a woody base, a green woody base, like a vetiver. So, or maybe a petitgrain, maybe. but I am not getting iris in this, and I'm really not getting any musk. But this fragrance is really, really beautiful. You do have to like that fennel kind of anise smell. It is not as um, strong in anise and not nearly as sweet as this one is, the Licorice by Frederico Cantelli, but you definitely need to be into those herbal kind of green fragrances. And I think it's amazing. Very interesting bottle too. Again, I don't know why people aren't talking about these. These are really fantastic. So I'm eager to try other fragrances from this house. And that is what I've got for tonight. So, hey, let me know in the comments. Have you tried these houses? I suspect maybe I'll hear a lot of folks having tried Obvious. I think that one gets a little more commentary or content covering it than the others, which is great for Obvious, but I just can't imagine why everyone isn't going nuts over these fragrances. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As I've said before, I read each and every one of your comments. I love them and I respond to them all. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And hey, if you aren't yet a subscriber, please consider becoming one. I'm trying to build up the channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.